second graders. Today we're going to be talking about how authors have intentions. Are things that they put in a book that the way they write, the way the text is written, is supposed to tell you either how to read the text, or that something is important, or that something should be read in a certain way. So I wanted to use this example. We've already read this book, Those Darn Squirrels, and I wanted to show you just a few examples to what I'm talking about. So on the very first page, do you remember this? And it says, on the outskirts of town, at the edge of the forest, there was a little old house. The only thing older than the little house was the man who lived in it, Old Man Fookwire. Do you see, or do you hear rather, how long I paused in between it and then saying Old Man Fookwire? Well, if you notice that there are these two dots, we call those colons, and it tells us to have a really dramatic pause, like this is what is coming. So let me read it to you again. The only thing older than the little house was the man who lived in it, Old Man Fookwire. Do you see how I paused? It was a longer pause than if you just saw a comma or something like that. So the author was kind of building us up. It was kind of dramatic effect, wasn't it? Old Man Fookwire. All right. Another example I want to show you, that I loved this page of our book. Do you remember it says, Old Man Fookwire was so old that when he sneezed, dust came out. He was also a grump. He hated pie. He hated puppies. Do you see how the author is taking this opportunity to show us just how grumpy this old man was? Because who in the world doesn't like pie or puppies? Most of us love those things, don't we? So the author was giving these two examples to prove or to show just how grumpy Old Man Fookwire was. Isn't that cool how the author did that? Now I'm going to just skip over some pages here because we have already read this book, but there might be something else that I'd like to show you. So on this page, the birds were not happy. Neither was Old Man Fookwire. When he discovered what had happened, he shook his old man fist and yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" Do you see that I've highlighted the word yelled? A lot of times, authors show us and tell us how the character is speaking. In this instance, he is yelling. He yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" So he wants to tell us this is the way that you should say it in your mind, or if you're reading out loud, in your voice. Let me show you one more time. When he discovered what had happened, he shook his old man fist and yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" Do you hear how I did that? All right, let me see. I think there was one. Yep. Look at this one. This was when the birds were kind of, trying to get to their food. And it says, "Knack, knack, knack, knack," snorted the flugel bird. Do you see that word snorted? The author again told us how that should be read. Kind of in a knack, knack, knack kind of snort way. All right, good job. That's another example. And then I think I had one more example that I wanted to show you on the very last page. Okay, and it says, the squirrels were so overjoyed they had a party in Old Man Fookwire's house. Do you see this dot, dot, dot? Well, that has a big old name, and it's called an ellipsis. So say that with me, ellipsis. And what it means is there's more to come. So when you see an ellipsis in a book, that tells you hang on. Not the end of the sentence yet. There's more to come. So listen to the way that I read this sentence one more time. The squirrels were so overjoyed they had a party in Old Man Footwire's house. Because that's kind of funny, isn't it? And then he said, "Those darn squirrels," said Mr. Fookwire, and he shook his old man fist and smiled. So as you are doing your independent reading today, I want you to really notice, be like a good detective, and try to notice places where the author was telling you and showing you how to say something or how to read it. Okay? Great job, second graders. Have fun reading.